Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the online sessions on DCCN. In today's session, we'll speak about the data link layer, which is going to be the second unit for us. So, in the previous sessions, we have done with unit number one. Now, we'll go with the second unit, that is what called data link layer. Now, as we spoke in the previous sessions, that there are 7 layers in the OSI model, where we can start by any number, like you can start from either physical layer or from the application layer. So I find it easy to start from the application layer because it's going to be very easy to just go through. So I'm going with application layer. So there are various layers like application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. That means when you come from top to bottom, then we'll be having all these 7 layers. The first one is going to be application layer, presentation layer, then session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So now here we are discussing on this data link layer now. So we're discussing here is on the data link layer. Most importantly, there are last three layers known as physical layer, data link layer, and network layer are very much important layers, which are normally used to do many manipulations onto the data coming from the application layer. So therefore, usually these 3 layers are normally going to change in the intermediate nodes based on the types of the networks, based on the type of the control flow control, based on the speed of the systems, and so on and so forth. These particular information provided by these layers are simply going to get interchanged in the intermediate nodes. So therefore, these 3 layers are meant to provide the definitely meant to provide the source to destination communications, end to end packet, end to end delivery of the. They are responsible for end to end delivery of the data. So that means here the data link layer is nothing but the second layer when you come from bottom to top in the OSA model. So here this now this data link layer is connected to the physical layer. From the physical layer, we normally connect to the physical connections, either through coaxial cables or through the telephone lines. If at all the connection is going to be wireless, it normally does by using the various types of wireless communications like Wi-Fi, Zigbee, Bluetooth, so on and so forth. So here the data link layer is connected with different ways and means. That is means what? Something like algorithms establishing the reliable and efficient communication channels between them for transferring of files. So different protocols that increase the rate of transfer and reliability of data transferred are considered here. So in each and every data link layer, we normally going to have different types of protocols. So different types of protocols are implemented in the data link layer to support what? Data transfer between the two systems. So throughout our entire subject, our main agenda is to transfer the data from source computer to the destination computer. That is what the agenda of the entire data communication subject. But only thing is that in the appropriate layers, what information you're really transmitting, what kind of information you're really transmitting is really point of concern for us. Now, most importantly, one more layer we can just think about like a transport layer. When you come from the top to bottom, application layer, presentation layer, and session layer, changes won't be done which has been made by these 3 layers in the source computer. Those informations are simply going to get transmitted as it is until the packet or data reach to the final destination computer or receiver computer. And rest of the other layers like transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So these layers, to some extent, the information given by these layers to some extent are normally going to get modified by the intermediate layers before the data reaches to the final receiving computer. So therefore, from the transport layer onwards, the data will be represented by different means. Why? Because the data coming out from the transport layer has to be changed by the network layer. The data coming out of network layer should be changed by the data link layer, and data coming out of the data coming out of the data link layer should get changed by the physical layer. That means all these four layers are now going to normally going to interchange the data for one type of system to another type of system, or one type of network to another type of network, or one type of technology to another type of technology. So here these four layers really plays a vital role in communicating data from one end to another end. So therefore they are responsible for end-to-end communication, right from transport layer to the physical layer. They are responsible primarily for end-to-end communications. Therefore the data coming out of these layers are represented by different names. The data coming out of transport layer can be represented by segments. The data coming out of the, now I'm just thinking in terms of sequence. Think in terms of sequence. The first layer is, leave the first three layers, that is called application layer. From top, when you come from top to bottom, first layer is application layer, second is presentation layer, session layer. So don't think about these three layers while we are going to transmit data via the communication link. So when the data is getting transmitted via the communication link, we have to think about only the next four layers known as transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and the physical layer. Therefore, the data coming out of these layers are represented by different names. So these names are important, very much important for us, because if you are representing data by segments, it is understood that this is the data coming out of a transport layer. Similarly, if the data is coming out of a network layer, the data is represented by packets. Similarly, if the data is coming out of the data link layer, the data is represented as a frame. Similarly, if the data is coming out of a physical layer, the data is represented as a bit stream, or symbols, or baud rate. So these are the representations of a data coming out of each and every layer. So therefore, the names that we give to the data coming out of these four layers is very important and crucial. And you should not say that the data coming out of data link layer is called as a packet, or data coming out of a physical layer is called as a segment. So that means there comes the mismatch in the representation of data coming out of each and every layer. So therefore, please try to keep this in mind always, that the data coming out of transport layer is represented as a segment. The data coming out of network layer is represented as a packet. Then the data coming out of the data link layer is represented as a frame. Data coming out of a physical layer is represented as a bit stream, baud rate, or symbols. So these are the representations of the data. That means the data, the data coming from transport layer is connected to the network layer. Network layer output is connected to the data link layer. Data link layer output is connected to the physical layer. Physical layer output is connected to the physical link for the communication, or connected to the channel of the data communication link. So these are all the various types of the connections which we have. Therefore, compulsorily what is also important is that there should be a proper interfacing softwares between all these various layers, like all these four layers. That means there should be a proper interface software between transport layer and network layer. There should be a proper interfacing software between the network and data link layer, and between data link layer and physical layer also there should be some proper interface between these two layers compulsorily. So this has to be there compulsorily to have a communication among one type of layer data into another type of layer data. And all these functionalities suggested by these layers are implemented by using the protocols which we normally going to have in the each and every layers. So this is what the overall concept which we have. Now, since the data is very complex, that means the data which is being transmitted is always going to get transmitted through a complex networks, and data itself is going to be very much complex in nature. So therefore, such a data, whenever you're going to transmit to a very long distances, then in order to support all these various, to consider all these various criteria for a data to get transmitted, we're going to have different types of layers. So that means every layer is going to address an important issue for a data to get communicated from one computer to the another computer. So such is the one which is going to be called as a data link layer. So what is so important data link layer is actually doing, that's what I was talking to you now. So sending computer is, see, this is what sending computer, this is receiving computer. In between these two, you're going to have the huge computer network, huge computer network between sending device and the receiving device. Now sending device is going to be a source computer. Receiving device is known as a destination computer. So here, see, what is the name given here? See this name given here, packet. When I say packet, this packet is coming out of the network layer. That means the output of network layer is given to the data link layer. So output of network layer is treated as what? Packet. So output of network layer is treated as packet. Packet is given as input to the data link layer, right? So what this data link layer is going to do, it is simply going to form a frame or prepare a frame with the appropriate header information and trailer information along with the payload. Payload means what? The actual data resided in the system along with the information related to the core data. That is what we normally going to put over in the payload section. And now after this is being connected to the appropriate data link layer in the destination computer. That means destination computer, when it receives the data after stripping off the information from the physical layer, it strips off the frames, and these frames, from these frames, once again it is going to really strip off the payload, and this payload is simply being given as a packet to the network layer. The network layer receives the packet, it strips off its data, and then it gives that data to the transport layer as a segment. So transport layer takes the input as a segment, and it simply strips off the unwanted data. It takes only the data which is required for transport layer, and it simply gives that information to the upper layers known as session layer, and then physical layer to presentation, and then finally the application layer. So this is what the hierarchy which is normally going to get followed when the data is being transmitted from one computer to the another computer. So therefore, when you use a terminology called packet, you should be careful about that. You're talking the data representation in terms of the network layer. When you're talking in terms of frames, when you talk, all this is nothing but a frame. So when you talk in terms of a frame, we are talking the data concern to the data link layer. When you are saying bit streams, you are talking to the data concerned to the physical layer, right? So these are the terms which you have to be careful when you write in the examination, right? You should not merge one name with another name. You have to use the names appropriately in the exam also, so that the examiner understands the context on which you are really talking to. So if your context is data link layer, you will be continuously talking about the frames. So if at all any term that comes in the data link layer as a packet, means what? The packet terminology is actually meant for the network layer. So that means in order to provide some implementation for network layer at the data link layer, you are actually talking towards the data representation. That means that, but the data representation represented is for the network layer, but not for the transport data link layer, but not for the data. That's what important for us really to understand. Now, what are the various functionalities provided by this particular data link layer? That is an important issue for us. So every layer is going to perform or provide some functionalities, and these functionalities are implemented by the protocols which are going to be there in the in those layers, in those appropriate layers. Now in today's session we'll just I just wanted to close this session by mentioning about the various functionalities of this data link layer. So it also computes. Now, what are the functionalities? Let us look into that, all those things. It provides various functionalities, such as it provides service to the network layer. That means once the data is received from the network layer of source machine to the data link layer of source machine, and this data link layer responsibility is that it has to send this data to the network to provide service to the network layer of the destination computer at the other end. So that is what the important point. It has to compulsorily serve. That means it should provide the interfacing job between the network layer, between the network layer and the data link layer. That is what an important aspect that we normally going to come across. So after that we are going to have another thing is going to be called as next one is going to be providing service. After providing service to network layer, it has to provide the data link layer is going to provide service to network layer in the sense that data from the network layer of the source machine must reach to the network layer of the destination machine. For this purpose, so now for this purpose, for the purpose of providing service to the network layer of the destination machine, the services for the data link layer can be characterized as something like unacknowledged connectionless service, acknowledged connectionless service, acknowledged connection oriented service. And the next functionality that it provides is going to be, so this is going to be the sub functionalities of this particular network layer services. Okay. So next is going to be the next important functionality is going to be the error detection and correction, error detection and control mechanisms. So the data, once it is transmitted over a network to a long distance, there is always more possibility that the data is going to get corrupted. The data is going to get corrupted. So that means when the data is getting corrupted, there should be some mechanism to detect the uh, error in the to detect the error in the data which is received, and there should be a method supported at least to some extent to control the data, to correct the data. So therefore error detection and correction is normally very important functionality provided by the data link layer. And what happens in the error, how we normally detect the error, it is normally based on the checksum. There is an important application called checksum, CRC codes. All these codes are normally used or Hamming code. They are used to detect the error. So already we discussed about Hamming code in the DLD subject or STLD subject. So CRC code also I think we have discussed in the DLD subject. So those codes we normally going to use it here to calculate or to detect the error in the data which is transmitted. So and checksum. So all these are the various error detection techniques. And next important service it provides is going to be called as a flow control. So next important service is going to be called as a, next functionality is going to provide is going to be called as a flow control mechanisms. So flow controller once again subdivided into two types. One is going to be feedback based flow control, rate based flow control. So as the name indicates, flow control. What is the meaning of flow? Rate of change of data is called flow. So flow control means what? Here we have to control the data rate between the source and destination computers. We should always see that the receiving computer's speed should not be less than the speed of the transmitter computer system. That means in order to provide a proper synchronization, the speed of the receiver should be compulsorily more than the speed of the transmitter system. Then and then only the reception is going to be effective and efficient. So therefore, we have to establish all these things in the flow control method. So now these functions are provided by the data link layer. In the next section, we will discuss in detail about all these various functionalities provided by the data link layer, such as flow control, error control, and various types of connectionless service to the network layer. So all these things we discuss in the next session. Thank you very much for the today's session.